Hey everyone, my name's Connor. You might know me from my YouTube storytime videos or replying to someone with something unfunny on Twitter. There's a lot of things I do on the internet, and I mean, all of it to an extent is a character, and I think even what I put on here is a character. And someone could argue that everything that you put out to someone else is a character, and only you really know who you are, and only you show that to yourself. But that's not the point of this video. I'm making this video, and I think I'm going to title it something around like along the lines of advice from an unqualified 19-year-old. I'm about to turn 20 in a couple weeks. My birthday is September 12th, 2002. And I thought, I wanted to revisit this channel as I was telling one of my YouTube buddies, Decept, that I think that this channel is the most important thing that I put on the internet. And I value it the highest. Obviously, this channel makes me no money. All my source of income comes from the main channel. All my success viewership-wise and audience-wise comes from the main channel and the connections and the people I know. But honestly, I think the most valuable thing I put out on the internet is this channel. So I thought that in lieu of me turning 20 in a couple weeks, that I would kind of give out all the advice that I've learned in my last 19, almost 20 years on this planet. And I think in the title, I'm going to say from an unqualified 19-year-old, because honestly, if you want really good advice, listen to someone who's 70, who's lived their life, because, stuff like this compounds, and I haven't been on this planet enough to know. But I've been on this planet enough to know a few things, and let's just jump into the first one. First thing I'm going to say is don't neglect sleep. At some point on the internet, it turned into a bit of a flex, a brag of like, oh man, dude, I don't sleep at all. Bro, I sleep less than no sleep at all. I have negative sleep. For some reason, it turned into something where everyone was kind of fighting with each other about how little sleep they got. And let me just tell you that don't do that. Besides all the scientific studies of, you should be getting sleep, it'll cause permanent damage. I can tell you personally, as someone in college, my second semester, my roommate had to go back to South Korea suddenly, and all of a sudden I had a single. And when you have a roommate, you're definitely more inclined to, abide by norms or normal standard convention. And when you don't have a roommate, you can kind of do whatever you want. And I found myself sleeping ridiculous hours. And by ridiculous hours, I mean not going to sleep for the night because it was fun and I wanted to watch YouTube videos. It's super juvenile, super childish, but I genuinely did it because I could. And to be fair, I was having a really fun time, and it's not as if I was, depressed, and that was the reason why I couldn't go to sleep, because that's for some people. A lot of people say sleep a lot because they're depressed, but some people they don't even want to go to sleep, right? No, I was having such a fun time in life that I just didn't want to go to sleep. But let me just say that my sleep is good now. I go to sleep at around the same time. I wake up around the same time. I get about 8 hours. I mean, if you're trying to go to the gym, which is something I've been doing for the last 2 months about now, you need your sleep and you know that. But just in general, I'm going to tell you this, if you continue to have terrible sleep, you will run into a brick wall, whether that be a health problem, whether that be a mental health problem, like you have a whole-on freaking mental breakdown. Maybe that happened to me, maybe that didn't, I don't know. All I'm going to say is please don't neglect your sleep. It's so important. And there's so much we don't know. And just do me a favor and try and go to sleep tonight. I'm not saying you need 8 hours. Maybe you're only going to get 5 or 6. But honestly, I've read from studies it's better to get 5 hours consistently than 8 hours erratically. So just do your best. The second thing, I'm going to sound like an old man, but please just hear me out here. You don't have to invest now. Some of you are too young to even start an account without going through a bunch of, loopholes and doors or whatever. But learn about what an index fund is. First, learn about what a stock is, how that works, learn about the market, and then learn about an index fund. Specifically, look at Vanguard index funds, for example, VOO. It's an S&P 500 index fund. You might be thinking, Connor, why are you even saying this? What I'm saying this to you is that, the thing is, the US dollar, I don't want to get into it, but we print a lot of it, and we'll continue to print a lot of it. And are we going to repay our debts, which is going to hurt, or are we going to basically print our way out of it, which will devalue the currency? Probably the second option. I have no way to know the future, But one thing I do know is that in general, if you believe that the top 500 companies in the United States will grow and will have more, basically, if you believe the top 500 companies will be more valuable in 30 years from now than they are now, then an index fund is a great place to put your money. I'm not asking you to invest anything. I'm simply asking you to do like 30 minutes of research, look up what is an index fund, what is the S&P 500, what is a stock, how should I be investing? Please just look that out. The third thing I want to talk about, and I have written down on my notepad, go outside. And I partially mean go outside physically, but I also kind of mean that as a general statement. There's been kind of a wave in, internet memes recently of like, oh, go touch grass, go outside, stuff like that. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Let me just say that, the people that I meet online, because, my profession right now, which is YouTuber, which is insane. Tell Connor 4 years ago that he is going to be regards himself as a professional YouTuber, and he would probably laugh at you. But the fact that my profession has me interact with so many people that spend an incredible amount of time online in the internet webs, or basically the metaverse. I know it's not a real thing, but it's practically that. They're also the most oppressed people I've seen. Is it a causation? Is all correlation causation? You learn statistics, that's not always the case. Maybe it's because, the most oppressed people happen to suck themselves online the most because it's an escape, but I'm not 100% convinced that that is always the case. I think that there is some correlation between being online 24/7 and having, a bad mental health effect. I truly do believe that. And I just look, it's not going to like, if you're struggling with something and you're also online 24/7, just going outside and looking at the sun once isn't going to fix everything. But if you're looking for a way out, or just a way to make things get better, all I suggest is, being online is fine. I do it a lot. It's fun. You might even have most of your friends online, if not all of them. I'm not saying cut everyone off. Of course not. What I'm saying is that, get morning sun in the morning. There's something, there's a lot that we don't understand about ourselves. There's a lot of like deep biological programming that has just existed and kind of grown, and it's been around for thousands of years. And there's something about getting out in the morning, being outside for at least part of the day. I'm not saying spend the entire day baking in the sun and, get skin cancer at age 40. I'm not saying that, right? All I'm saying is that, go outside. I genuinely mean it. At least once every single day. And also, every single day, get some form of exercise. If it's a walk, then it has to be a walk. Personally, I'm a big gym proponent. I'm not saying be massive. I am far from massive. But honestly, just putting on some amount of muscle mass is going to change the makeup of your body in an incredibly good way. It doesn't have to be crazy. The thing is, you don't need to look like you lift to get the benefits of, lifting weights. There's another, I keep referencing memes. I sound like a mom on Facebook, but I saw this meme go around of like, ooh, bad thoughts in head, lift heavy rock, bad thoughts go away. It's not as simple as that, and it's not going to work out like that, but there is a grain of truth in that. That's all I'm saying. The final thing in go outside is that go meet people that are not online. If you meet someone online, you want to meet them in person, that's fine. But there's a true difference between an online relationship where all you see them is webcam or audio, and actually interacting with people in real life. Look, socializing can be hard, especially if the only thing you've ever done is socialize online. That it's going to be hard. I'm not going to lie to you. But it is incredibly rewarding, and I think important, to have friends that are there in real life. And I don't mean you have an occasional acquaintance, but really have a friend who you are there with, who's physically there in the room with you, And I think that the final thing I want to say in this, because I don't want to make this way too long, because I do want people to actually listen to this all the way. I've seen the retention on this channel. People don't listen all the way, but to the 10% of people who make it to the end of these videos, I know it's really bad. The final thing I want to say is just seek help if you need it. If you are struggling with something, there's nothing wrong with seeking help. And I don't know what that means. One thing I will say is that be careful seeking help online, because there's a lot of times you're going to go down rabbit holes of just, you know how it's like on WebMD, if you look up I have a cough, they're like, yep, you're dead, buddy. You're about to die. Say goodbye to your parents because you're dead. But there's a lot of doomerism online, and it's not even doomerism. It's just worst case scenarioism. And I think these medical sites are just trying to, they're just trying not to like tell you you're okay and then you're not okay. They have to list everything. But your brain is going to immediately look for problems, and your brain is going to see the fact that you might have something that's terrible, right? And when I say seek help if you need it, I'm more referring to in the mental space, but I mean really anywhere. This could be in school. Like if you're not doing well and there's a free tutor, just go get the tutor. Look, I take decently hard classes. I'm in the tutor's office all the time. There's no shame in it. Even if you're in an easy class or what others would regard as an easy class, just go get help if it's free. God, like just help yourself. That's all I'm trying to say. Help yourself. But genuinely, if you have any issues like mentally, one thing I will say is it's not always your circumstance. Meaning that if you have a relatively good circumstance compared to other people, you can't say, well, I don't deserve to like be helped, like to help myself figure it. Like the consciousness is a curse. There's a lot of great things with consciousness, but it's also a heavy weight we need to carry. It doesn't matter how good your outside material, your material existence is. Like that doesn't really change the inside as much. I mean, it can, but what I'm trying to say is don't feel guilty if your life is fine, but you're struggling with things on the inside. This sounds cliche and everyone says it, but I genuinely mean it. And I hope that in a year from now, I will make a video titled Advice from an Unqualified 20-Year-Old when I'm about to turn 21. And if I forget to, please remind me and I'll make it because I think it's a good idea for every year to update this list. And yeah, that's it for this channel. I will post another video in like 10 years because that's about the upload schedule on here. And I'm about to make like 3 videos for the main channel. It's going to take it out of me. I'm normally fine making 1 or 2, but I'm going off to college in a couple days. And, you know, I know my roommates. They're my friends now. So I'm not totally worried about making videos in college. I was able to do 2 a day last year when I didn't know anything. I just know that when I'm traveling, I'm not going to want to make videos in the hotel or something. So I got a lot of work to do. So I'm signing off. I hope you got something from this, and leave your advice as an unqualified X number of years you're old in the comment section below. Bye, guys.